Hey guys, welcome back to Real Life History. Today we're going to be reacting to our video Serenade Salvia. It's a project we worked on for quite a while,
Quite a while, yeah.
and we're just going to give some pointers just so that we can educate the youth on
Yeah.
film because it truly is a passion of ours.
And to be honest, it's been a little bit since we made this. We've learned a lot since then, so there's a lot of things we might want to talk about, things we would have done differently. Not too many of them, obviously, but we just want to, generally help the masses, film students, for example. They can really use this. Maybe some teachers or professors are going to put this up on a screen, help some people out. Anyways, let's get into it.
All right.
Okay, so this is the first scene. This is the establishing shot, of course.
hmm
We actually just picked this place at random. We just had the idea to make a film, and this was the first place we thought of to go.
Yeah. But it definitely does have some history. Benny, right? If you didn't know, is our secret character's name. You'll probably see him later on in the film,
Hmm.
but it just really inspired us on our journey to make such like a, I guess, because it starts off like very, very deceptive, like it's very innocent, it's very sweet, it's very kind,
Hmm.
and then the more and more the story progresses, the more twisted and
Hmm.
corrupted.
You start to understand it's kind of like a glitch, but in real life, it's um what's the word I'm thinking of? It's got kind of like a facade of
A pity
innocence,
glitch.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
we'll let the film play for a second. That's enough preamble.
Okay. So panning the camera down
This was a
really
very important choice for establishing the scene because it really just provides a
it sort of gives a motif,
mhm,
like in shows like Friends, right? Many sitcoms and stuff, they have an establishing shot of a house.
mhm,
And that's something that I believe we were able to replicate pretty flawlessly
mhm.
in this scene.
Except actually we tried to kind of reverse that because it's a familiar thing with the establishing shot and the pan, but because we're trying to put on a facade of innocence, frame it as if it's all we frame it in the same way that sitcoms would, the nice warm sitcom that the whole family can watch, which kind of juxtaposes to the ending and well, really just to the general
Yeah.
story of
But
this.
we'll get to that once we reach
Yes,
there.
we'll get to that.
Okay, so
Do you want to say it?
yeah,
Okay.
this was it was really tough.
To find an actor for this, yeah.
Yeah, find an actor for the scene, right? But we were able to hire this guy on Craigslist, right? And he was able to sort of give us that CGI scene that we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as we wanted it to be like all real actors, we sort of got inspired by, I guess, older films, just like very dystopian, more like what would it be called? It would be the uncanniness of like a real life person, but it's not real.
It's not. It's real enough to make the features that don't look real stand out. So before we hired this guy from Craigslist, we actually had the idea because we were just struggling to find an actor. So eventually we came to the idea of just using an AI actor. But plans fell through with our company, the company we hired to do the AI acting.
Yeah. So
Um,
what happened was it was really silly. So someone who helped us record we're not gonna
we're not gonna say his name
name
because
names.
we don't want to burn any bridges. But to be honest, I think they burned the bridge
Yeah,
before we
but
could.
his father was able to purchase a PC before all the RAM prices went up.
Hmm.
So we sort of just siphoned the RAM from his PC to try and create this AI actor, but
Hmm.
it
It just fell through.
it
We
fell
hired
through.
someone off Craigslist, and I think it worked out very well,
Yeah.
especially with what we were given. Like we weren't given that much material from
No.
him to work with. He had a very high hourly rate, so we just recorded a couple scenes as fast as we could, and we slammed it in there. But I think it works very
Yeah.
seamlessly.
I think with that rushing though, we definitely missed a few flaws. Like
Hmm.
I don't have a laser pointer, but if I did, I would be pointing over to us over here.
Hmm.
You can just see both of us standing here recording,
Hmm.
and it sort of takes you out of the immersion of the film.
Definitely, yeah.
But I think later on we do a better job at rebuilding that immersion with
Because we
those,
switched camera
yeah,
companies.
with those face-to-face scenes, and
Hmm.
we bought so much RAM that we had to use AI.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah, and
continue.
I laugh, but it's actually very sad.
Yeah.
in reality. Anyways, we'll play it a little bit faster now. We'll get through it a little bit more before we pop.
I'm here to solve.
Okay. That was a really hard voice to do. I
Yes.
don't know if you guys noticed, but I did the voice.
Can you do it? Can you like do something for us right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the wizard. Okay.
So it has been a couple months, maybe not perfect, but
I think you guys sort of get the point.
Mhm.
It's supposed to mimic more of like an older, elderly, wise kind of guy, and I did a great job.
Friggin' guitars.
Okay, so what's funny is that most people consider guitars to be very expensive, or at least on the more expensive side. But this guitar, you'll definitely see it later on.
We have history with this guitar.
Yes, this guitar has a lot of history with it. You were the one who bought it, so I'll explain it to you. Actually, I'll explain it a little bit, and then I'll let you finish it. But essentially, we were at a local area. I don't want to,
name drop
any places, but there was a psychic there, and this, I apologize, I'm laughing, but it's actually very tragic. There was a psychic, and his son was very, very into music, and he actually bought the guitar for his son. But his son tragically died while playing. And
okay, what
his son's soul was trying to find the guitar. I'll let you finish.
It may look like he's laughing, but he's actually crying.
I'm crying.
So I think you'll know what kind of person the son was later on in the film, due to the copious amount of talk of of chicken.
That's so bad. So, yeah.
But I was able to purchase a son for $5, and we just had that idea to make the film.
That's a curse.
So, okay, this is a very interesting scene because it's very deceptive. Just as a watcher, you may see this and see
As a watcher.
As a watcher, you might see this and just not put too much thought into it. But what's funny is that I'm not actually saying this.
Go.
Let's go back.
Here to sell friggin' guitars. That's a curse.
So what's funny is actually that's not me saying that line in real time. Actually, he said that in post while we were editing this video. And another thing is that those aren't my hands either. He actually had to because my hands were doing the camera.
Yeah.
He actually had to put his hands on my face
so it's
from the bottom.
Yeah, it's a contraceptive sort of like camera angle. But on top of that, we were able to replicate sort of that scream motif, you know? Just like that one painting, right? The scream, like, oh, he's scared.
Van Gogh.
Yeah, Van Gogh. Oh, right? We were just able to capture that, I believe, perfectly. And you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I haven't praised you enough for this scene specifically.
I can't take all the credit, you know. I was the one on the camera, but you did most of the other work. You know, you did the hands, you did the voice.
It's wonderful. Next. Oh, and on top of that, you may not understand this, but the A hat symbolizes.
It's very symbolic. It's blink and you'll miss it, but it's very, very symbolic.
Cursed.
Go.
Okay. That was a tough scene to film due to the fact that
our camera company actually was very hard to work with. We just could not get what we wanted out of our camera company.
Yeah. But we figured some stuff out.
Yeah,
and
we figured some stuff out.
On top of that, the shirt right here, we weren't able to change it so that it looked like a wizard. So we just sort of had to use me as it.
Here, let me go back so you can see that. You see this, the left person's shirt, it's actually gray, and you'll see it in a later scene why that matters. And we actually had a joke planned for this with on the left, the baby's head. That was actually supposed to be it was a scrapped joke. Because our camera company kind of messed up with the recording, we ended up scrapping it.
Yeah, but
because it wouldn't have made sense with the scenes we had already recorded.
Yeah, it was gonna be more of a joke for the adults.
Yeah, for the
watching.
It's dark humor essentially.
Yeah. Like in many children's movies, you know, they'll say some offhanded comments, right? But it's mostly just jokes for the adults. And sometimes it could be like corrupted jokes.
Yeah, kind of like glitched jokes, in a way.
Yep.
Let's keep going.
Yo, what is up, guys? Today, we just bought a brand new guitar from Benny's Bagels.
Okay.
Benny's Bagel Wizard.
Okay, so that scene right there, that hand,
Do you see the guitar here?
it's
It's particularly difficult to notice, but there's actually a hand. I don't know if you can see the mouse cursor, but there's actually a hand right
mm,
there. So we actually didn't know anything about the psychic's son
mhm.
at this point. We know that his soul was in the guitar, but we actually
He had hands.
didn't know he could move.
Yeah.
We later on in the
Film.
short, he just moved on his own. We decided to pay him an hourly rate. But at this point, we didn't know he could move. He didn't talk at
Yeah.
all.
Unfortunately, he got a little too expensive, and you'll see what we had to like.
We had to kind of change the story around a little bit towards the end,
Yeah.
because we just couldn't afford to pay for his rate. But kind of in the middle, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's actually not him. That hand is actually our cameraman's. I'm holding the camera on the right. You see me. I'm holding the camera. But actually, behind the seat on the left,
You see that hat as well?
there is actually somebody back there
We're not gonna name drop,
handling the actor.
but he's also the one we bought the RAM from. Well,
Mhm.
more took the RAM from.
We bought it from him without his knowledge, in a way.
Yeah. We left a few nickels on his desk, and
Yeah.
he's on his way. You know.
Yeah, it's all.
And
all
on
swollen
top of
and
that, this was more meant to replicate sort of a YouTuber's intro.
kind of a vlogger style.
Yeah, more of like a Logan Paul early era sort of like, hey, we just got this brand new thing, like we're gonna do reviews on it, right? And you'll see that right.
You're like brand new. Let's hear you sing.
Fuck me, this shit hurt me. I can't stand this shit, man. Oh, fuck me. Oh,
Hey!
God damn.
I was gonna
touch it.
pause it when it was done. I was gonna pause it when his singing was done. So actually, that was the first scene, right before filming it. Really, that was the first scene that the son started speaking on his own, started speaking and moving on his own. I just wanted to add that. You want to add anything?
That was dark humor for the folks at home. Because it's sort of like meant to replicate just like slapping somebody.
Pulling their nerves off of their body, in a way. So that humor probably goes over a child's head who watches this, but the adults in the room will obviously understand it and enjoy that kind of humor. So we generally we erred on the side of wanting the whole family to enjoy this. You have anything to add? Do you have anything to add right now? Add to the discussion right now?
The race we chose for the guitar.
Well, we didn't choose the guitar. Let's address the elephant in the room. The sycophant in the room. I'll let you.
The voice was made by him. All of the writing.
Okay, well, in reality,
all of the writing.
So actually,
all
in
of the
reality,
writing
and the
was
voice
him.
was handled by him.
In reality,
but in a more true version of reality, in a way, it was actually very much him that wrote and voiced the guitar.
But if we had to put it in more true reality, it was our cameraman.
it was our cameraman
who
that
later
voiced
quit
it.
on us.
Well, quit is the wrong word. We skinned him alive, but on his contract, we did write that he couldn't fulfill his obligations, and we dropped him. That's what we wrote officially.
Yeah, but we were able to get some scenes. But he just couldn't handle water, and we'll see.
Man, I can't stand this dry ass chicken. I'm out of this hole.
Yeah, you saw him moving? Good.
See you later, boss. Yeah. God.
Okay.
This was a very, very interesting scene because the skateboard actually couldn't, or the guitar actually couldn't skateboard. So we actually had to have an actor, a stunt double, do the skateboard for him. It's very hard to notice.
And you can tell, due to that cracked toe knob right there, that's just, it's something.
You want to continue?
Yeah. There's a little Easter egg as well to Dishonored, right?
Yeah.
Right there? You see that?
If you actually see right below the guitar, there's a symbol on the skateboard which is a reference to the game Dishonored. And I have a bunch of influences. I'm a product of my upbringing. So in every project I make, I like to call back to the things that made me who I am. So I thought it pertinent to add
Dishonored Easter egg.
Dishonored Easter egg. There's a couple more later on you'll see, which I'll point out later. But it's just it was very important to me that I added things like that.
For some of the Easter eggs though, you might have to watch Mr. Waffle Waffles because I think he goes more in depth into
Mm-hmm.
our Easter eggs because
Goes more in
we're
how to
we're just
solve
sort of
them
skimming the surface of it.
of the hobos
Because
too.
if you think about it, our video is more of an ARG than a piece of media.
And I think that that's actually something that's been missed on our community. People watched it as a wholesale product, but there was much more to be gained from it, especially on a second rewatch. There's so many different things. We hit a secret URL for the start of our ARG that I'm not even certain if anyone's noticed yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've even noticed it.
So this that makes sense because I did make it without you.
Yeah.
But this, I guess, is kind of the signification. This is the announcement that yes, there is more to be learned from this video. And I think that I look forward to seeing our community solve
Yeah.
this. Even you. I mean, you don't even.
I look forward to solving this.
Yeah. So.
I know you asked me for a few voice lines. I can't say I'm here.
Mhm.
Not yet, but
I think you guys will really enjoy this.
let's just say that something is sort of, it's not an entire project revival, but it sort of like skims the surface of the story. And I'm guessing what your idea of it is, based off the traction of that ARG. More stuff's gonna get piled on.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So right now there's a smaller scope so that I believe you don't have as much like scope creep. So you don't overwhelm yourself. You don't burn
I don't
yourself
go
out.
too ambitious.
Yeah. But if it gets to a point, I think that we can work something out where I can be more included into the story and working on that ARG.
Definitely. I know that I'm in your contract for the original for this. You, I'm not sure if you read it, but you signed up for you basically for life in this franchise. So I can use you whenever, and if you don't agree, I will be allowed to kill you. So whether you would like to or not, you will be included in this next project. But I hope you will be. Anyways, let's continue.
Motherfucking damn. I love riding my skateboard. Whoop. Hey,
Actually, that right here. Let's go back a little bit. That is actually not the guitar. You can see the all black. All right, let's stop that. We can see the all black. That's actually not the guitar. We dressed up an actor. You're actually crying.
I don't want to be killed.
Don't worry.
Oh wait, actually that's actually me.
Yeah, this is actually him dressed in all black, so he blends in a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's comma and period.
Okay. If you look over here as well, like no guitar can do such a sick ass trick like that.
Definitely not. Although you did not stick the landing perfectly, I don't think a guitar could do any better than you could.
Okay, now this scene was more of like a challenge to film. Just that cinematography of riding up the fretboard while it's flying up in the air to sort of get that establishing shot that this is a conundrum that's going to happen. And as the more it goes in, right, the more you can just see like riding up. Right? So imagine it like being off of a cliff is where we're going at, right? So this is a tragedy that's going to happen. And the thing is with it is we know just based off context clues, it's an electric guitar, right? So water is obviously going to hurt it a lot, right? Secondly, it has feelings. Because you can hear it like getting hurt and stuff. So we know that this is not going to be a good thing for the guitar itself. On top of that, we also know that guitars, they don't float. So.
And actually, something else I wanted to add on really quickly. At the very least, for my inspiration on this scene, I wanted to call back to Breaking Bad, the final scene, but in reverse, sort of. Because in the final scene, you see Walter White on the ground with blood in a bloody pile. You see it zooming out. But for this, we kind of wanted to. Well, actually, that doesn't make. We wanted to call back to that scene because that's sort of our character's version of that scene. The story might not go the same direction, but at the very least, the character is experiencing the same thing he was feeling before. He was feeling as he was dying with Walter White. You ready to continue?
No, I think that's fantastic.
Okay. So let's
around my skateboard. Whoop. Hey, oh shit.
Okay, that was sort of a callback to slow-mo videos from 2018, right? It was a very big trend. I remember the summer of 2018, I was in the pool with two people, right? It was Avery Gronendahl from Suwanee, Georgia,
Your
right?
best friend, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And it was Genevieve Samuel from Suwanee, Georgia,
Okay.
right? I was also with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
and Genevieve Samuel's father actually filmed a slow motion video of us,
Really?
right, jumping into the pool
Okay.
with slow motion sort of splashes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're about
Where I go?
a splash
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this scene it took a bit of trial and error, right?
Definitely.
Just to get the perfect shot of where it's just zooming in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was sort of a visual gag, right? So it's not falling in the same way where it's just slammed in there, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like that loud equals funny, hurt equals funny kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And as much as people say that it doesn't matter anymore, the pioneers of loud equals funny, etc., I'd say King Bach, right?
Definitely.
King Bach, huge inspiration for our sketch, right? Early Logan Paul,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Logan and Jake, I think they were great.
Really, just all the late Vine, early 2016. Sorry,
Yeah.
2016 YouTube people.
And some people that we wish we could have drawn inspiration, Danny Gonzalez, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Drew
Drew
Gooden.
Gooden, 100%.
Yeah.
But we couldn't just sit down and be idle in situations and just speak of them. So here
we're directly causing what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for example, Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez's style just didn't match what we were trying to make in this.
Mm-hmm. But I believe that we're gonna go in and we're going to fix the situation to the best of our abilities right here.
I'm like a goddamn PlayStation float.
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
tell him about that. Tell him about that.
PlayStation float.
Okay.
Okay, now this is a long inside joke
Yes.
that me and you have had for...
Well, I can't even remember how long. This
Oh
must
my
have been
gosh.
2014, 2011.
Before that, it was when we both got our first PSPs to play Danganronpa,
Mm-hmm.
right? Despair Tragedy Girls, right?
Mm-hmm. Borderlands 2,
Yeah, No, we... Oh, I was playing Danganronpa, you were playing Borderlands 2
on
on
my
the PSP.
PSP, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we were running up PSPs, and um, sorry,
So we both jumped into the pool
yeah,
with our PSPs in our pockets. Is that how it went? Am I correct in that, or am I
yeah.
forgetting?
No, and then they started floating up into the air because they were in our pockets, right?
Yeah.
And then they didn't just stop at the surface of the water; they
They
kept
kept
floating.
going. They kept going.
So
And I mean, even every once in a while, we still look up and we see them.
we see our PlayStation floats, and because PlayStation Portable,
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Floatable,
Yeah.
you know.
That okay. So it's
It's
actually
clever.
It might not make sense to all of you. It's very complicated, but to us, it was very
yeah.
important to add that in to have more of a personal flair in this.
Yeah.
And I think we did a pretty good job at calling back to that,
Yeah.
right?
I don't believe so. I know so.
So,
Okay.
this scene is, I think, kind of funny because if you logically think about it, we're actors and we only had two actors here.
Yeah.
So if you think about the last scene, who was doing the trick? Who was the stunt actor? It was actually him.
Yeah.
So why would it make sense if we're in the house coming out?
Mm-hmm.
So
on top of that, why would we be the ones freaking out that the guitar flew into the pool?
Mm-hmm.
We were the ones who did that action.
Exactly. So it's if you think about it more than an average person would, I think that you would understand it's actually very smart. You'd have to be
It's
very
subtle.
smart to
It's
understand
subtle.
this.
It's subtle.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
But I mean, if you can figure out ARGs, I think
I think our community has no problem solving this
Yeah.
one.
Okay, now that
That was genius.
I have no words.
Yeah.
I know
mean,
that was genius. You know that was genius. And
I mean, all of you know that that scene was genius. It's like the culmination of both of our careers. It's every time I mean, even just rewatching that scene, it's just
I
like
get chills. I think like I genuinely did get goosebumps for that scene. Okay.
I've got goose pimples, yeah.
I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't help me.
Okay, now that's funny because it was the exact same frame shot as the first one when he fell into the pool,
Get a hold of yourself,
right?
man!
So if we just go a few frames right here, right, and then we look back, it's the exact same water pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It's just slightly cropped,
Yeah.
so that it sort of changes that appearance. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can
It's just so beautiful. I just.
yeah. It was a shot we needed to reuse. It was too good.
Mm-hmm.
So right here is sort of
The comic relief.
yeah,
in my opinion.
it's a callback to the Goonies.
Yeah.
The Goonies, Three Stooges, you know, just classic slapstick.
Yeah.
Get a hold of yourself, man!
Okay.
And do you want to say it?
No, I think you
Okay.
can.
Okay. So we don't even hit each other. Wait, go back. Look. You can see the impact on his face that was edited in post, but I don't even hit his face, and neither does he for me.
Get a hold of yourself, man!
But it's harder for you to see on him because it's the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was kind of genius.
If you would like me to interrupt, can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
So the genius I think in that scene is it kind of for people who are paying attention, it can help them contextualize what they're watching. You know, for some people it's so immersive that they're having trouble even separating this from real life. But if you're really paying attention, you'll understand that we're not actually hitting each other. So it pulls you out of the immersion. But I think if you are so focused on this anyways that you would notice that, I think that you're still getting all you can out of this.
Mm-hmm. And another Easter egg right here is in post we lengthened our limbs. So to what? No,
No, I'm just thinking back to when we did like while we were editing that.
yeah.
Oh, that was a fun day. That was a fun day.
No, so to get that slapstick, right, we wanted more of like an old school rubber hose animation
And
style. Right?
what we did for that is
Do you see the pose I'm hitting right here, right?
yes.
So originally we were both gonna have idle animations,
Mm-hmm.
right? In post, sort of like a callback to Friday Night Funkin'.
Mm-hmm.
If any of you guys are sort of from that older era, you would know games like Friday Night Funkin' have many like idle poses. Um, I'm not sure how many people know of that, but if you don't, look it up. It's a gold mine.
An idea that we had for this scene before we decided on the rubber hose animation style, we were actually gonna do claymation for the longer limbs, but it ended up falling through. But I still think that we could have improved on the scene if we did claymation
100%.
or stop motion.
But the Craigslist guy didn't allow that in his budget. No. But with this video, hopefully we can raise more money.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna start a fundraiser real soon for the next
Yeah.
one. Once the ARG is solved.
Yeah.
Get a hold of yourself, man!
Okay, that is good because we're okay. So in common media, right? The way that you activate a space. Do you have a piece of paper?
Right here, and I
Yeah.
think I have a pencil somewhere around here as well.
Okay, yeah.
I got a pen right here.
Okay, right here. So, imagine, right, this is our frame, right? It's empty, right? There's nothing there. So, we have, let's just say, we put someone looking right here. Now we have so much empty space, right?
It's a little bit hard to see that.
Right? So we have so much empty space, all that empty space right there. So what I decided to go in is originally we had a lot of
It was skewed
space.
towards the side, correct?
Yeah, it was skewed towards the side, but when we looked at each other, right, all of the space in between us became more active, right? We had a more activated centerpiece, while the background is something you more take in more of a second playthrough, watch through, my apologies. But all of that is active, and all of this is negative space. So it's just a little, how would I say it? Trick of the hand, sleight of the cards. But I think it genuinely does make the scene look more fulfilled, and it's beautiful. We use a lot of rule of thirds and symmetry with it, right? So if you notice up here, we specifically place these
They
pots.
can't see the mouse cursor.
Oh, But the pots above us, right,
It
center
separates
us.
it separates the screen into the thirds, and we are in the middle third.
Mm,
No? Oh, sorry. Continue.
you don't know rule of thirds. So,
That's not what I was saying.
rule of thirds,
It's that there's three things
Right
you pay
here.
attention to.
right here, right here, right here. Rule of thirds will always be in these corner thirds. Get it right, punk.
Shut up, bro. Are we beefing? We're not making that sequel, bro. We're not making that
No,
sequel if you keep acting this
come
way.
on, dude. We gotta make the sequel.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Are you done here?
But yeah, that's.
No, I have something to add, if I may.
You may.
So another thing that this scene sort of signifies is that we
Unity.
wanted to add a subtle romance plot. And as you can see in the middle of the screen, we are both taking up we're the centerpiece of this scene. So we just thought it would be better for the full thing to have a slight romance twang to it.
But
we ended up scrapping it. We didn't fully complete it.
But it did go somewhere. Let's continue.
Let's do this!
Okay, you notice the slight hand holding?
Yes, and you
And
notice how in a
We
way
were in
it
unison.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. That is what I was going to say.
We jump in.
Let me jump in.
Okay. Okay. Wait, this was a good scene to film.
This was a very
Our
fun
cameraman, he took it a little rough.
Yeah, he had a very
film
hard
it.
time. That's kind of what eventually led to us stabbing him to death and skinning him alive.
Yeah. And we did gut him like a pumpkin.
We did, and then we sold him on his parts on the stock market.
And
Yeah,
we did cook his seeds.
we did, and they were very, very good. We had a family dinner with them as an appetizer.
But
But I think
this
we
film-
got some salvageable scenes from it,
Yeah.
even with our cameraman complaining.
and we only have one guitar in the scene.
Yes.
Just think about that.
Mhm.
So guitar's right here, right?
I don't want this.
And look at the way it just transferred over.
Yes, that was extremely hard to film.
Ew, I don't want this.
Our cameraman had a very hard time
Yeah.
filming that. Very, very hard time
Right?
filming
It
that.
was very hard for him to understand the pause button.
It's very hard for him to grasp an understanding of how this scene would work, which makes it just very intellectually
Yeah.
difficult.
But let's watch
No,
it.
I don't want this. Ew,
I mean, that
I don't want
smooth.
That is so stinking
this?
smooth.
Okay.
Okay, one of my least favorite scenes is coming up here. It's gonna be honestly difficult for me to watch again because it's very honestly difficult to watch. Okay, but it is coming up here.
But
I'll call
right
it
here,
Keep it together, man. I still hear a beat.
a beat. That's a double
A beat.
entendre because when you put your head up to someone's chest, you are looking for a heartbeat. But because he is a guitar in music, kind of the heartbeat of music is the beat. Which is very smart, and I credit that all to him. Very talented script writer and actor.
yeah. But I think we're about to get to the best part.
The first part. I think. So if you look on the left, there's actually a stupid dumbass so let's just keep going. So I
Ooh.
actually campaigned very hard against this. I prefer my films to be raw. I prefer not a ton of editing. Yeah, so I campaigned
Ooh.
against that. This was a very fun scene. I think this is kind of where our editing came into place. Our strongest piece of,
Yeah.
our strongest weapon essentially is our editing.
And I think the only reason you guys were able to tell that this was a shirt is because we paused it,
Yes.
right? And right here, I mean, you would
It's seamless. It really is seamless.
you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yes.
You can't. It's
Very
It's just
impressive.
turning a solid into a soft, and then solid again. It's
Genius, really.
Yeah.
And that was all his idea.
This is for scaring.
okay. This is a good scene, right?
Yes.
This is after we got out of the water, right? And it was sort of a play on like many Disney films, right? Where they sort of have that over exaggeration
Definitely.
of
love triangles.
yeah, of love triangles and sort of that like, why'd you do this? But it's okay. You know, many Hallmark films
Definitely.
use this strategy just to build up that tension and that relief, right? So, let's say, right? So right here, we're sort of climaxing in the film. So we started off at the bottom, right? We're getting up here.
Well, let me just add on to that. We're climaxing for this part of the movie.
Yeah.
Essentially, in the movie, there's two climaxes.
So we're right here, right? And then we're gonna get a release. 1 second, but we're gonna keep a little tension right here. So then, as the tension, right, we're gonna start climaxing up and up again. And then instead of a full release,
Only
we're
partial.
gonna waver off instead,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not gonna be. It's just.
We're
Gonna
sort of like edging the climax in a way. We're not fully at climax yet, and we will hold on to that climax for at least a minute.
Yeah.
Which,
and
to
then,
be honest, is very impressive.
Yeah, the film is gonna. It's gonna end at the climax.
Yes.
And many stories want happy endings. Many stories want a lot of that stuff, but that's not reality, especially when you're dealing with souls like this. Yeah. Oh, that was tough. Because you can't hear it, but he was screaming.
Yeah, the actor in Anna.
Okay, and this part.
This was sort of our comic relief, and also the
release of that
of that romantic subplot.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
So that's why it went up, right? And then we were able to release down quick.
Yeah.
It was a quick release just to build it up more.
Definitely.
For the tunes.
Okay, Travion and Jamal. This is Trey right here, and that's Jamal.
Trey's on the right, Jamal left.
Yeah. What a trip.
Yeah.
We were originally gonna have them be the two actors for this, so it would be more of a raw scene. But they were on their honeymoon, and we just couldn't get them on time, so we sort of had to improvise. And I was comfortable with doing the kissing.
I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah. So we just decided to sort of just make it more comical. Travion and Jamal allowed us to do that flawlessly, and
We've had...
Oh.
Okay. If you actually pay attention, you can see my teeth are a little bit yellow in this scene.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Because we've had enough.
Had enough of this guy.
Okay. We have a little stubble here. But this does count in our ARG. You know that, right?
Yes.
You're gonna have to count the amount of hairs, so like you know the reference.
And look, also, I'm just gonna give you guys a hint. Look in the reflection of the teeth. Very important.
And not only that, make sure you.
And my two moles are actually a constellation that you must look towards during the winter solstice.
And for the summer solstice, you need to look at the dry spots on his lips. And the cracks actually are sort of a map of rivers that you're just gonna have to figure out on yourself.
Well, okay, the original idea was that the cracks were supposed to mimic the cracks on Europa's icy surface.
Yeah.
But Europa was in retrograde. We couldn't see it through Saturn or through Jupiter at the time. Yeah. So we just ended up going for a map of rivers. But it works out in the end because the ARG was being made simultaneously alongside this, so it was easy to pivot. And
if you look at the very, very back, I'm not sure if you guys can see it yet. Let's see if we can go back here. If you look, it's really...
If you look between my crooked teeth,
you can actually find the map of the like where the Tsar of the Ottoman Empire was buried.
Yeah. You mean the Caliph?
Yeah, the Caliph. But that was actually a trick because in our ARG, he's the Tsar.
Oh. So this is kind of where the movie shifts in a way. Beforehand, it was kind of just like a happy-go-lucky movie with some drama, but this is where the movie shifts, sort of. And I think it was a very brilliant idea to do that because the original plot we have for that first half ran its course. I don't think there was anything more we could have added that would have added substance to it. So we decided to pivot away from it and make it a very unique movie, I believe.
And I think this goes back to an idea of many artists before us. For example, Vic Fuentes from the band Pierce the Veil, right? In his song Bulletproof Love, he's always been obsessed with songs that sound happier, you know, but have a very dark meaning. In his song Bulletproof Love, it's based off of a suicide note, right? But the tune it's in a major chord, right? And you know, it's you breathe me in with smoke in the backyard lines. You know, it's a very upbeat song. And I think out of the entire album, that's the most upbeat song. And it's also the darkest, right? Because at the end of the song, the writer is dead due to heartbreak. And that's sort of what we're going for here. With all these bright greens, all these colors around us, right? But in the middle, you can see all the black, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that doom, all that despair. And by using neutral colors for the guitar, we're able to signify that, sure, it was human before, but it's sort of lost its color, it's ran its course, right? And it's struggling to hold on for its life now.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout these next scenes, we'll see a change in both my character and his character. Sorry, it was very difficult to sort of
It's okay.
go through with I wouldn't say execution, but sort of seemed that way
Mm-hmm.
to many people around us. But I think it was a better decision for us and for him because um, it's it's like it's like putting down a dog. He our guitar um, he only wanted. I mean, it just brings back memories. He only wanted
Yeah,
dry ass chicken. Um,
well, that was what he was complaining about on set.
but that's what he wanted last. Um, I was able to have a few last moments with him. Yeah, and we'll see that here. But it was a it was I think it was for the best that he ran his course, and at the end we gave him a good spot for him to
Mm-hmm.
lay.
We sent him out with a bang, I think.
I believe so as
His
well.
his career, his essence on Earth. Yeah.
Okay, we just had to take a second for that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little emotional, but let's continue.
Give over.
So we did end up shifting tones, but we wanted to keep kind of a semblance of the original Happy-Go-Lucky tone. So if we can go back here a little bit. Throwing it in the car really quickly is meant to evoke kind of a
A
last.
visceral. I'd say it's more of a visceral reaction.
So we actually gain two different perspectives on this scene. I think you were saying it's more of a visceral shock. Am I right in
Yeah.
describing it that way? So it's more of a visceral shock. To me, it's kind of the last gasp of comic relief in this movie. It's kind of like a dark, corrupted, glitched humor. Um, but I do gain some amount of pleasure from it's kind of like cathartic. Not no maybe not cathartic. It's very hard to describe the feeling, but it is in my opinion the last.
It's a cathartic release of that humor.
Yes. Because I kind of know what's coming up next with the
Mhm.
context of the previous scene, dragging him out, taking him to the park. Um, it gives a last little bit of respite before what I know is going to happen will happen, essentially.
Yeah. I see it more as visceral, due to the fact that we have um, we have grown with this character. You know, we took it on a ride in the car,
Mm-hmm.
right? We tried playing with it. We even saved it from the pool. You know, we allowed it to ride skateboards, and just sort of that dragging it by the neck, firstly, sort of resembles like dragging somebody just straight up by the hair.
By the hair, yeah.
You know, and that is disgusting. And slamming it into a car would resemble grabbing somebody's head and just throwing them. You know,
Yeah.
whole body and
I'm
everything.
smiling, but it's a
And
dark visual to have in my head.
yeah, and I shudder at the thought of all this harm being done to it when it doesn't really understand what it did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an innocent dog on the day of its execution.
Mm-hmm. And let me add on to that. In a way, it sort of recalls back to what happened to the guitar in real life. I think the context of knowing what happened gives new context to that scene.
That's true.
I think that with the knowledge I have today, it definitely has changed meaning. Um, it's difficult for me to talk about because I had a very close relationship with the guitar, but it's changed meanings to me.
And we'll see that right here. Okay, this monologue is inspired by E.E. Cummings, the poet, right? He wrote many poems, famously known for Nobody, Not Even the Rain, Has Such Small Hands, right? It's a very emotional poem, and it just sort of gives you that feeling of lost love, you know? You have this last moment with somebody just to get it torn apart. And uh, we'll see it here, right? It'll go through our ups and downs and all arounds.
Loop-de-loops.
Yep, merry-go-rounds.
Yeah, nothing really
Actually, hold
special.
on. Can I pause it one more time? I had something to add. You mentioned E.E. Cummings. Obviously, we wrote this scene together. The poem that I think I gained the most writing influence from is um,
I don't know what's so funny.
I'm crying, to be honest. It's a very sad poem. It was called Even with the Risk of Rain. Um, I don't want to get into the source topics because it's very dark, but it it helped me a lot in writing.
That's true, because I remember it was formerly known as Purple.
That was the original name.
Yeah.
Even with the Risk of Rain, formerly known as Purple, it was written about a man who had just lost his best friend named Dio.
To a gang thing named Mithrix.
Who just lost his grandparent.
Left a child with him.
He had left a child behind
But,
without any parents.
but he was able to gup up the courage to sort of he was devilish, I'd say. He was more of an imp overlord, in some meanings.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he felt a little lost, more like a wandering vagrant.
At times, I could definitely describe him as a wandering vagrant, but he had a heart of gold. He had a pot of gold.
Yeah. And it was a little like a halcyon, you know?
Yeah.
And he was shrining all night to that halcyon.
At times, he would seem when you were hanging out with him in public, he would seem very, very outgoing, but you couldn't tell what was going on beneath him. He kind of wore a brittle crown of a facade. So
But the more he grew, the more strides of heresy he took. And
eventually, that's what took him.
yeah, because the more items of heresy he took,
He transformed into a whole different person.
Yeah.
He was sort of a survivor of the storm in a way.
But originally he was a chef. He was a hunter.
Well, his hobbies were being a chef, or that's what his job was. But as a hobby, he was a hunter. He was a seeker of storms.
And in some ways, he was also a commando. He was a commander.
And his life kind of had ups and downs. I thought at many points that he would become a survivor of the void that was taking him, but I think eventually
he was trying to be a survivor, but the more arrogance, the more pride. Instead of surviving, he was more seeking the storm. He was a seeker of the storm.
He was.
And that sort of got him into a bit of a collective of a few alloys. Yeah,
a few droids. Well, there's one more thing I want to add. We've kind of been dancing around the topic, but the way he died is in a tragic tri-tip accident. Very tragic.
Yeah.
He had multiple bleed procs.
But he was able to take out the
first aid kit.
Yeah, and he ate a bison steak on the spot.
And it looked like he was making a recovery, but
but
he was taken by the void.
Yeah, because of his brittle crown, he wasn't prepared enough.
He didn't have the money to pay for his treatment because his bleed procs were constantly taking money.
He did have a roll of pennies with him, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he did leave a good inheritance to his child. And I heard
he gave his child a debit card too, right?
Yeah, but that kid always is gonna have a death mark to him. He was able to take out the person who killed him though, because the last moments he noticed he was the person who took him. His name was Ace, and he was kind of a boss. Let's just say that. And luckily he had some armor-piercing rounds, and he was just able to stick them into Ace, take out the boss really quickly.
He had a lot of stacks.
Yeah, and he was just rubbing his neural until
Until the very last breath.
yeah. Okay, let's continue. That
Yeah.
was a bit of a rant.
Bit of a tangent. We're almost at an hour.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, man. I know that shit, man.
Okay. He
So
knows.
we actually had a lot of copyright issues with the music behind. Originally, we
Yeah.
had a totally different song.
Yeah.
But YouTube had copyright struck us, so we
So
had to change.
yeah, we found a song though.
And I think it fits the scene better, to be honest.
That face to face is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we chose the top of the guitar is because it's also known as the head of the guitar,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's sort of a head to head, face to face moment, and we'll see that moment transpire into madness and just more despair, sort of like
Magic, madness, and sadness.
Yeah, or Danganronpa. You know, Danganronpa is full of despair, right? And the students of Hope Academy, they try to fight the despair, but here I believe Monokuma is won, and despair took over.
You know me, no. I've known you for over
Spinning gets you very dizzy.
2 days now.
Throwing
And getting thrown probably hurts a lot.
And you.
Okay, getting slammed.
That definitely wasn't good for his head.
Yeah, and bending over like that wasn't good for my back either.
You're beautiful.
Okay, that saying beautiful was very hard. It was a hard pill to swallow, knowing that it was just gonna cut it, you know?
Yeah,
A
and
long neck.
if we can go back a little bit. This is a very vulnerable pose for the guitar to be held in. It
Especially showing its back to the camera as well.
It signifies kind of the distance that the audience may feel from the guitar, but it shows the closeness that this wonderful actor feels towards the guitar.
On top of that, we can go back to that point of activating space with faces, right? So when my face is looking at something, it is activated, right? If it's not looking at it, it's all negative space. So the fact that we are able to activate both behind me and in front of me at the same time due to the fact of the guitar, right? This is all activated space. We want to look at this because we see someone else looking at it. We want to look at this because we see somebody else looking at it. We have no more negative space in this scene, and it's powerful. On top of that, we're able to use the rule of thirds very effectively by having me in one of the third quarters, especially in this intersection right here, holding that guitar, forcing it more off to the side, and having more of this be a center point, right? And the left side just completely blank, right? So it's sort of the left sort of shows that I'm in the wrong, right? The more space that the left creates, it's for me in this scene. I'm in the right, and going left to right is left and right. You know?
Yeah, of course.
And right now I'm in the right, but the more space that grows in the wrong just shows that sort of corrupted meter growing.
Your beautiful long neck.
Okay, and this is a powerful scene. It goes back to a lot of, I guess, sort of punk images, right? Slamming guitars, grungy images, slamming guitars. You know, just sort of doing that harmful manner on a lot of things, but...
You're strong.
Oh, throwing it like that wasn't good for it.
Strong frets.
Oh, okay, we talked about frets in this. Because
Was this just after work?
Yes.
Okay.
This is just after work. This is why we're still wearing our work clothes.
And wear flip-flops.
Yeah. But now we were able to give our other companion a scene to hurt it, right? So, and
those
see me with it, right? But the guitar was so vulnerable that other people were able to just take a stab at it, right? Not just the person who heard it, right? So it's sort of like a baby bear without its mother, you know? It's a naked.
It's missing its mama bear.
Mhm.
Strong.
And that's kind of rare here in America.
So I think that signifies kind of an emotional sense of
Vulnerability.
everything. For example, after a messy breakup, just for an example, um, the person who inflicts that pain upon you physically or mentally can feel like the first cut, but every slight from anyone who, even someone who you won't expect any romantic affection from, anything that feels like a slight towards you can feel like a tri-tip dagger, just bleed procking you over and over again. And the reason that we have both of us destroying the guitar is because he is more of the physical, emotional aspect, and I am more of the detached but can still hurt the guitar in a way aspect.
Yeah. You give it more bleed, while to the guitar, I'm more of like it's a noxious thorn in its side.
hmm
You
In
know?
in a way, he is sort of the gasoline that starts the fire, but I am the propellant tank. Um, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is that the right? Okay.
I'd say so.
Yeah. So I kind of he's what causes the pain to start, but I think that in the end I end up causing more pain just by being in the vicinity. Just
Yeah.
anybody in the vicinity can cause pain.
Tuners. The way your bright pickups light up a room.
So
That
right
was
there,
that was a good scene.
yes, this is very both physically and emotionally symbolic.
And right here, it's it was a good piece of editing. I can't even lie,
Mhm.
because the scene starts with both of us in the air, right? So this is 2 different feet, and you can just tell that, right?
Mhm.
So it's 2 different feet, and we'll get as we're going down, right? It's you can see my feet coming in, right? And then you can see your feet coming in as well, right? I took a piece out of Quentin Tarantino's playbook, right? And it's just include feet. That's it.
Yeah.
And then right here, we'll get that satisfying crunch from me, and then just that switch, right? So it's me, you, right? And it goes good for a good sound and a very like action-packed scene.
Light up a room.
Just like that. You know, it's very easy to miss, but frame by frame, it's
The way your strings.
um this is the part where it just snaps. You know, all that tension, all that build up, all its life, you know. The more a guitar's tightened, the more tension it has,
Mhm.
right? And it finally wanted to let go at this point.
Mhm. We wanted a more physical representation of the tension a guitar can feel. So it's sort of the two aspects of what the word tension could mean, physical or emotional.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Vibrate. Feels so good.
That was a freaky line.
Your body is immaculate.
I think that as well. Am I safe to say that?
I would go more in depth, but we still need this video to make money so that we can make
Profit,
another one.
so we can start to cut off our day ones, for example, do some important things like that. Anyways, if you could unpause it.
And I'm jealous of the person who built you.
I'm jealous.
For spending all that time with you.
Yeah, for spending all that time.
You will be mine.
And in a way, you are theirs.
Yeah.
Forever.
So
for a long time.
The way that we basically cracked its body open like that. You see, that was one at one point, right? And we finally set its soul free by letting it's like it's that catharsis you said before, right? We finally just sliced it open to let it bleed. You know, it allows just for it to finally escape from itself, from others, and just to improve on itself in the future. And its soul is finally.
Forever. And I could never do anything to hurt you.
Okay, that was freaky. That was very freaky. That was very, very.
It's very, very sus, bro. That was
Yeah,
very
that was
sus.
sus. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's
So,
keep going.
Only please you.
that's freaky.
Yeah.
On God.
What have I become?
Okay, now this shows sort of like that villain. Breaking Bad, as we said. It started off with a dad just wanting to make money before he died so he can give it to his family, right? But he slowly realizes that he is death himself.
He is Heisenberg.
Yeah. And I think this is when my character finally realizes it. Goes from a sort of clean looking guitar to a angled one, right? So it's sort of a
Well, it started out, for example, as a Fredbear, but now it's sort of like a Mangle.
yeah.
And that representation, that was very intentional on our part.
Yeah, it started off as, yeah, I'd say Freddy Fazbear and turned Withered Freddy, right? And I think how I would put it is the start of it was a figment of my imagination, right? Me spinning around with a fixed, beautiful guitar was a figment of my character's, at least imagination, of how even when things are broken, your mind will still try to keep them together. You know something's not going to work out, but you want it to. I experienced this personally myself with a relationship that I'm not going to go too much in depth to, but I knew stuff wasn't going to work out, right? I was constantly called just mean stuff, and I looked at it. I would constantly look back and forth, and I would think to myself, I want this to work. I want all of this to be fixed. And at the end of it, I realized, hey, this wasn't the best for me. It wasn't good for my health. It wasn't good for my mentality. And it was just falling apart. It was broken. And the more and more you're connected to something, the less you realize that it's broken. It's not good for you. You need to go to something better. But you hold on for so long until everything just snaps. The neck snapping, right? The body releasing, right? There's so much catharsis in sort of an emotional breakup like this guitar that it just has a lot of heavy symbolism to it.
If I remember correctly, you were going through those tough times at the time you were writing and making this video, am I correct?
Yes.
So you drew a lot of inspiration from your current predicament to sort of artistically represent it in another medium, in a way to detach yourself, to maybe view it from a third person perspective, maybe to help you understand what was happening better in your own life. Okay. You can
Yeah. Wait.
What have I become?
very classic.
Let's get rid of the evidence. Let's do this.
Okay, that was comedic.
That was very funny. Very funny. That was amazing.
I liked it.
Good work.
Let's play this montage while we dap up each other.
Okay.
Dude, I think this is the...
Okay.
So actually, if you look at the back of my head, my hair is going through my hat, kind of funny.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I love that.
Pretty funny.
I made it. Dude.
Oh shit.
I
So-
forgot about that scene.
Can we even show this on YouTube?
I don't know if we can. We might just have to go audio only.
What happened? Dude, no.
No witnesses.
You saw my body there? Saw the guitar's body?
So you can inference from the guitar's body, they've already been killed, but if you look at your body, you'll understand you've also been killed, which is very comedic. We decided to put your face in the corner of the video because we thought it would be very funny. Yes, we thought it would be very funny. You can continue.
Wait, how are we gonna get rid of this evidence again?
So
now this, I don't know if you can tell, his mouth isn't moving. And
it's actually a dubbed line. He actually dubbed it over me because I was not available for recording at that time.
it was more of an internal thought.
Mhm.
Because saying stuff like this out loud in public would be, got it,
Yeah.
you know? You know?
Oh, now I remember.
And actually, if you
Okay.
notice, my facial hair down here has grown a
Mhm.
lot since the previous scene where you have seen it.
Mhm.
That is deliberate because it's meant to show that I've aged a lot
Mhm.
since then, emotionally and maturity-wise. I realized it was best to kill him instead of keep him. So that's just a little bit of a thing for the
For the adults in the room.
yeah, they'll understand it.
Oops.
Explosion!
Okay, that was as you said before, with the Dishonored on the skateboard, and how you like to add those motifs that sort of represent your life and your experiences yourself. Um, that was in Borderlands too.
Yeah, that was a Borderlands 2 reference. I was hoping people would notice. It doesn't seem like people have, but it's
Yeah.
okay. I'll continue writing these references, hoping people will understand it. But yes, I'm a very big Borderlands 2 fan, and it honestly sort of shaped my humor and my preference for storytelling. And I wanted to pay tribute to that to Damien Portier, the voice actor of one of the greatest villains of all time, Handsome Jack. After he kills Bloodwing, after he says, "Just give it up, kiddo. Bloodwing's got all the elements at our disposal: fire, electricity, no, wait, slag, fire, corrosion, electricity, something like that." Anyways, I just wanted to pay homage to Damien Portier.
I like that.
And
Now we have an establishing ending shot where it's just an empty field. It sort of gives that Mice and Men feeling where he's just look at it, look at the rabbits, you know.
I believe it's a very beautiful ending to what was a cathartic, emotional experience writing and watching the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at the reviews for it, right? First one was wow, this was incredibly inspirational.
Let's look at their channel. Let's see who's let's see the type of people where so Capri Sun. Oh my God.
The Turn of the Screw, page 147. My sternness was all for his judge, his executioner, yet it made him avert himself again.
That's pretty
And that
cool.
was
They should have
when
titled it.
we,
This is
with
pretty
a
cool.
single bound and an irrepressible cry,
Okay.
spring straight upon him.
I like that.
I like that a lot. Windfart is probably one of my number one ops. They do not like me apparently. I'm telling for you, Potimer.
I believe this was before all the Potimer allegations came out. You're done.
You're done.
Okay. That's not
Okay.
too funny, but he
No.
just reposted that shit. Looks like he used to stream a lot, Animal Jam shit.
Mhm.
Fucking loser. Holy shit.
Retarded, bro.
And he, oh.
My playlist and Flower Boy, really?
Yeah,
That's embarrassing.
that shit is.
A little bit
Anyone
You got more views than our channel though.
Yeah,
in our studio.
2,300.
Yes, I rebranded. I just got bored.
Yeah, fresh start. Yeah,
Mhm.
something like that. Okay, next would be
Wow, this acting is so moving. Cherry Hope, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just music playlist.
Yeah.
And French.
Yeah.
I guess Cherry Hope.
I believe an acquaintance of ours actually commented on this. Yes.
And it's just it's playlists.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Wait. Oh,
Oh, it's
it's
Mr.
Master
Beast.
Beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, remember Master Uruguay? His life is ruined now.
Although it's common and even
Leafy.
sometimes lucrative for people to portray themselves as edgy on social media, as time goes on, more and more people are starting to realize it just isn't working.
All right,
Okay.
gang.
Well, we're gonna go now. Make a new sketch, and after we finish that, we're going to post it, upload it, wait 6 months, and then review it.
Hopefully, you guys will have solved the ARG by the time our next review comes out, because the next review storyline wise won't necessarily make sense if you don't have the context of the ARG for
And
this.
the good thing too is we added a few hints. If you guys were noticing throughout the film. And yeah.
So we've left a couple hints throughout this video. If to be honest, if you guys don't manage to solve the ARG, to be quite honest, I think that might just be an intellect problem, because we've laid out all the hints throughout our videos.
And we gave a lot of clues, especially with like the chin hairs and.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to solve it, but to be honest, I don't. If you haven't solved it already, I'm not certain if there's any help.
If you ever need help, I'd say watch Rick and Morty. It's for high intellect people. And if you can understand that show, you can understand us.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the review.
Well, real life history signing out.
Real life history signing out.
That shit was.
Fans are fucking retarded, bro.